maybe.
We're live. Welcome to Sports Rewind Digital. I'm joined tonight by Davo and BJ, and we've got a special guest there waiting in the green room. Almost forgot to put him in the green room. Tonight, fellas, we've got a special guest from Country Baseball, New South Wales. Played alongside, us in the past and against us as well. Brenden TEX lower, fresh off the European trip, so we'll talk all things there. First of all, fellas, how was your week?
Yeah, same old.
Same old.
Yeah, one of those days on Saturday where the bounce of the ball didn't go our way, so it happens, but
it does. It does indeed.
Life goes on.
What about you, Randall?
I'm still to be drunk, so it's all good.
You beauty?
Same, mate. I was there with Davo, so being the cripple on the sideline, just standing on the third base side, throwing out signals. Unfortunate weekend in our grade, but we had some fortunate games in elsewhere. But kids, they loved it as always. They got their games in.
Nice.
Same old, mate. This time of year, it's just baseball all day Saturday, all day Sunday in my life. So looking for a weekend off coming up soon.
And you nearly wore one on Saturday too. Mate, haven't seen you move like that for a little while.
Yeah,
bit of fast feet, Davo, was it?
Yeah,
only one fast foot. Only one fast foot. The other one was still geriatric. So
still struggling.
And that fast foot nearly went up and kicked the ball.
Straight through the legs, mate. Watched it all the way through the legs. I'm good at that.
Unreal, Randall. Unreal.
What about yourself, mate?
Mate, a bit of work for me, so not much activity over the weekend for me. And the following next week, we've got kids dancing in Sydney, so weekend full of dance and cheer. So heading down to Sydney next weekend for that, and so we'll miss out on another weekend of baseball. But that's what you got to do to when you got kids, I guess. So
that's it. Trivia night coming up though. Trivia night
coming up. Give us a plug. When is it?
5th of August. Sunday the 5th of August. Toronto RSL.
Team Davo Rum Guzzlers are gonna probably not do so well, but we'll be there.
It's all right, mate. I know the bloke that's organising it. You might get a couple of sneaky answers. But,
still not going to help us unless you're going to give us 100.
Anything after the year 2000, we're screwed. Give us the 80s. Give us the 90s.
80s and 90s baseball movies. Key tip.
Beauty.
Mate. 5th of August, Toronto RSL. I think it's a 7 p.m. kickoff. Could be wrong. Who knows? I'm just organising it. Get there. It's going to be fun. It always is. It's just a piss take. We just get there, get on the beers, catch up. It's great. No sneaky answers, actually, I've been told. Sorry.
You'll have your tutu as well, mate. I don't think I will, JVD, mate. They don't wear tutus these days, mate. I'll probably have some makeup and a G-banger on or something. But, yeah, mate, the boss has chimed in, Randall, with no sneaky answers. So, thanks,
guess
Heidi.
You guys aren't getting the answers.
I do appreciate you tuning in, Heidi. Probably the only time you get to see Randall tonight.
All week.
Off to bed straight away after this, big game early night. Fellas, let's get our guest on. Our guest is waiting there. What did you leave him, actually, in the green room tonight?
There's a couple of dirty waters in there, mate. There was a dirty water in there. So
a couple of dirty waters and some jats and cheese. Oh, well, let's bring him in. He's probably had enough of your dirty water anyway. Brenden TEX lower. Mate, how are you tonight?
Hey, guys. Good to see you, man. It's been a while. Long time no chat.
I know it's been a while, mate. You've been busy playing a bit of baseball all over the world again, and it's all with Country Baseball New South Wales. Tell us a little bit about your tour, mate, and where it started.
So obviously, the big owl, everyone, the big recruiter, he never gives up, and he wants us to live on forever. So, look, we started in Tamworth, and just a typical country champs. So not so much a country champs, but just the June long weekend that's held up in the cold territory of Tamworth, and it's just more of a training sort of, I guess, schedule before we head over to the northern summer. And yeah, look, it was fantastic just to sort of finally get all the boys together. We had a bit of a training camp in Coffs Harbour, so it's a sort of a pretty good program these days. Back when we were doing our our interstate trips and whatnot, it's sort of taken a bit of a step up from that, and we do a little bit of a tournament in house here, get everyone together, final sort of goodbyes, and then we sort of we rotate different countries before heading to Prague, and it's just honestly fantastic. The people who are now joining, getting a lot more younger kids on board, which is probably one of the biggest things that for us is super important. We know New South Wales has a lot of talented kids, and we sort of just want to get them into the program and show them that there's more than other ways to enjoy baseball outside kind of the Blue Sox are out or whatnot. So yeah, man, I mean, you guys have been part of it, seen it in action, and yeah, just you enjoyed the journey. Hopefully, the last couple of months, and yeah, it's just really fantastic overall.
How many in the squad did you take to? I guess first of all Tamworth, and then overseas. Was it the whole squad at Tamworth?
Yeah, so it's a full sort of 18 man squad. Or was it 18, 22? I think maybe it was 22 because we took a few more pictures this time around to be a bit more secure, especially when it came to the overseas part of it. Because overall we smashed in about 12 to 14 games within a 3-week space. So yeah, I think it was really good to this time come home with no injuries, to basically no pitcher. So our last time we went over to Europe, a few guys weren't used to the back-to-back games so often, and we just don't play that many back home. So the recovery rate people weren't used to, and some people put up a bit sore. But between the practice sessions we had monthly, playing your local games, the training camps in Coffs Harbour, the Tamworth tournament, we were pretty geared up actually and pretty ready for Europe. So I was really happy with a lot of the prep that went into it.
How was the team selected, mate? I know, country championships and that has been pretty slim with numbers and things like that. Was the team selected from that, or was it more a nomination process?
I think you still have the standard kind of selection process of the country champs. So, for instance, I'd say right now is the start of the 2-year cycle. It's a bit more easier to understand moving forward. So, first week of August, we have the country champs out at Blacktown for the weekend. From then, we sort of pick a reasonable squad, bit of a shadow team as well. That team will start to practice for the next sort of 6 to 8 months. We then sort of get ready for a trip to take those boys to Cairns. So Cairns in 2024. We'll use the Cairns as a also selection criteria for some of our Queensland regional boys, because as much as we are branded as New South Wales, it's really, we're flying under that Australian flag, right? So regional baseball to us is regional baseball, and we've met a lot of guys out of the Cairns sort of space and Townsville sort of space, and it's been absolutely fantastic, and so that's the stage 2. We then follow that up with the following Tamworth in the June long weekend, potentially if we have time. And then we'll have another country champs on top of that in 2024. So basically between 3 to 4 kind of tournaments per se, we'll have a selection and a squad trimmed down for the final 8 to 9 months to head back to Europe in 2025.
Okay, cool. How many sort of Cairns blokes were in that squad TEX or Queensland and stuff like that?
This year we had two. So we had Tommy Wall and we had Kyle. So Kyle was our catcher and Tommy was our shortstop. We came across those boys when we played in Cairns and played against the Cyclones. And honestly, two guys that really sort of stood out tremendously to us. And we were just like, these guys must come with us. So I think Kyle was pursuing a bit more of a college route or direct kind of get the eyes on him and stuff. And yeah, his arm, his bat, honestly, he did so well in Europe. And so did Tommy, honestly. Tommy, he hit over 400, something ridiculous like that. Unfortunately, he come home with a bit of a hamstring injury, but that's the nature of playing at the amount of games that we did in a short space and just not being the regular, I suppose, routine that we play. We play 1 to 2 games a week here during the summer, 1 during the winter, but this sort of program and tournaments that we attended to, like we were smashing, a game a day, and then just the weather as well, right? Like it's nice summer. It's like not overly humid. Just perfect baseball conditions for the summer.
Yeah, and I guess how from Tamworth, where did you go straight away overseas to? Where was the first port of call?
So the Monday after we finished up there, we caught the big coach bus from Tamworth to Sydney airport, and then we flew directly to Vienna via good old Dubai, or I think we might have been Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Doha. No, Doha. We went through Doha, so it was a bit of a stop in Doha, then connected on to Vienna, where we had a bit of a stop there, had a few games, had a bit of a day game followed by a night game. Met a few people there. A few of the players and coaches were actually going to be joining us in the Czech Republic as well for Team Vienna. And it was just fantastic to kind of a lot of us had never been there, so we got to have a few travel days and then just start to get acclimatized really, because coming out of that coldness mixed in with a massive bus trip, let's jump on 2 big fights, change in time zones, change in weather. It was about, honestly, just straight away get down to the ballpark, start stretching, have a throw. Don't overdo it, but just, Al wanted us to basically get as quickly acclimatized as possible, because the quicker we did that, it was only going to make the rest of the Europe trip kind of better, because if everyone's sleep kind of routines were out of whack, it was going to be a nightmare for a lot of people.
Yeah, mate. Heat would be brutal coming from your -2s at Tamworth, that's for sure. Mate, I've got a quick question from one of the viewers, Tim Offey. What percentage of games was Kenny Judge fit for?
I think he only missed 2 games, to be honest. He's a bit of a warrior, Kenny. He moves pretty well. I think, he's still got a bit of brotherly competitiveness with his brother, and Josh is out there playing center, and Kenny's Joshy Judge, and we used to seeing Kenny at third base a lot of time, but he had a bit of a competition this year with Johnny's kid Noah, so it was a good competition for that, because Noah's trying to make his stake in the ground and move forward, and he's trying to push the captain, because Kenny was one of the captains, and Kenny can just swing it still. So when you can swing it, we'll find a place for you. So whether it be third base, mix of DH, mix of first base, sometimes even maybe filling in at second base, he was going to get game time. Yeah.
So obviously his hamstring held up all right.
Yeah. I mean, I think the strapping held up, put it that way.
So, mate, you were talking about, having to go from playing, 1 game a week, being winter, to playing a game a day. What was your recovery process like? I know for me it would have just been, walk off the field straight to the pub, smack a few steins, and then just get up for the next day and go again. But what sort of stuff did you guys have set out for the team?
So if people didn't really understand the coaching stuff, we have a pretty decked out coaching stuff, not just from your standard pitching coach, hitting coach, a bit of base coaching. We've actually got like the support staff in terms of the fitness side of it. And Brenden Sheedy, who's a coach out of Illawarra, he was leading the recovery side of things. So basically, we were straight back to the hotels. We made sure all the hotels had pools and stuff like that, recovery centers, gyms, and if we had a sauna or something like that. But a lot of times it was pool work, right? The pool work was the main thing, running, stretching, and then after that we'd pretty much hold our good old kangaroo court straight after it. So we kind of tried to maximize the time, right? So some of these days were so long. From early starts through to playing and then coming back traveling, recovery sessions, doing your dinners, doing your socials, doing your sort of your in-house stuff, and then ultimately getting ready to just do it again, right? So a few of us like myself had a bit, knowing your body. I think that's where you stand to, there's no point trying to fit in if you understand your body doesn't recover the same as other people. So for myself, it's a hot recovery. So the hot showers, the hot saunas, stay away from the coldness because my muscles just do not do cold and I'll be out for days. So for me, just hot showers and sit back and watch the boys swim in the cold pool for me. So yeah.
How'd you survive Tamworth then?
I stayed the biggest area I could away from any water, and I just lived in my hotel room. I'm not gonna lie. No, it was it was a really good hotel that they put us up in, and no, it had a heated pool to a point. That's what it basically came down to. So we were very very well looked after.
So no late nights at the Imperial Hotel then?
No, there was no nights at the Impy this year. It was all business, all business.
Wow.
Yeah, we came
Times
in.
have changed.
Yeah, come in, just got the job done, took our check, and just flew out of Australia. That's what we've done.
Fair, mate. Fair. I do remember quite a few things about those Tamworth trips. Well, maybe I remember some of them, but mate, that cold weather was always the hardest to play baseball in, and changing it up and going overseas, probably a good move. So, where was your first tournament over there, mate?
So it was held out at one of the local sort of fields by the just trying to think of their team name, bit of a green logo, but their coach was an international kind of coach. He's taken up a bit of a contract to help the boys over there run their under 23 national kind of team, and they've got some just young kids. So just between 18 and 21. We had the first starter we played against under 19s. Yeah. So the 19s first, and their starter, he'd actually come out of the MLB Academy in, I think it was London. And so, this guy was dealing like almost low 90s at like 19. So, not only did we come out of the cold of Tamworth, we just got like straight into like the proper pitching heat. And a few of the boys had to readjust very quickly. So that's what I loved about it. I think the competition that we come across overseas, it's what I'd like to think a lot of us are dreaming to play against, on a regular basis, play a whole season, like 50 something games across the summer. I think if you're a passionate baseball player who likes the competitive side of it, you would really love these places because Europe is full of little pockets, like we have our local leagues here between Illawarra, got, the Central Coast and Newcastle. This is like playing essentially like ABL level straight away. And it's not just 1-2 groups, these are traveling squads and, every country is connected so closely. So a quick bus ride up the road, you're looking at you're in the Czech Republic the next day, and then you're somewhere else in Europe next week after. And I think these kind of competitions are the ones that really are the draw card to hopefully promote people to join, want to experience it, and just make some good memories.
What about for the young fellas? Sort of, I know back in the Australian provincial days when we went to European tours, we had, I still remember my tour. We had a young up and comer, 18-year-old throwing absolute bullets. Old Timmy Atherton. Is there, any, I guess, way that kids can progress through these tournaments to go and play, in Europe or somewhere else?
Well, I think obviously, the first is to play for your association through the country champs, right? So I'll be doing a bit of a piece. It'd be good to have a lot of people tune in for this country champs because I think we've kind of set a standard now for the media in terms of showing people that there's not just one team to play for, right? If your association is not playing, you can be essentially picked up as a free agent, right? So essentially, I'm going to go play for Tamworth, help out old Ferris, Johnny Warren, play with a couple of them boys, right? And, a lot of people can go through that channel, right? So jumping into the country champs, getting some eyes on you, right? Play against some of the good old experienced players, right? And from there, you start networking. So you start meeting the coaches, you start meeting the players that you're seeing who have gone abroad and stuff like that, And for me, that's a very important step because if you don't know anyone, you're not going to go anywhere, right? Not in terms of like you're better than me or whatever, but we know that baseball as a community is so connected, right? So get yourself in there. Like, don't be afraid to put your hand up, especially if you want to be a part of it, mate. We're open arms, right? That's the thing, that we're not shying away from people. We're not telling people to sort of, no, this is a closed group. It's not like that. It's actually kind of very much the opposite. We want to know who's interested, who wants to get involved. Right? I'm getting old. There's a lot more old people that we want the younger crew. We do want those people to come through, like you said. How do I get interested? Worst comes to worst, come say hello. If you don't want to play, come say hello. Come check out the games. Talk to a few people. Get yourself involved. And I think once you're in that kind of space, you find where you do want to sit. Do I want to play? Do I want to invest my time? And can I invest my time and so forth? So it's really about just connecting firstly with the people who are involved with the program. And that's what we want to connect everyone to sort of the group, because if you're not connected, you're kind of just going to be out of the loop in a way.
Yeah. That's fair. Yeah, mate. And so you've played a few games in different locations over there. I guess, what was your favourite place to play?
No doubt, it's Eagle Field, mate. It's the Czech Republic. It's the best of the best. It's it's now my second trip in, and it just feels like an even greater experience because that opening night playing against the World Baseball Classic Czech Republic team, I've probably never played in a more higher game, even though the game didn't go our way. Got to play a very big part of it. And that's just the thing. Like, it's funny to essentially go and play a game, lose, and still feel like that's a memory that I'm never going to forget, right? And for me, that's what that tournament is about. It's about connecting a lot of these memories and making them core memories that you go, man, you remember when I was in there? I was at Eagle Field playing against those big boys. These are monsters, man. These are like 6'5". Everyone looks like just a giant MLB player. And I just, you look over at the Aussie teams and there's a few big boys like Kano and whatnot. But, like we just look so small compared to such a team, But, we were more comparable to the American team, the Viennan team. And it was just, it felt like it's pro life, right? That's what it was. Like, you're playing against the professionals who are getting paid to do this, right? We're out here showing the Aussie sort of the spirit. We're not just some chumps out of the bush. Like, we can play, and then like we're striking out people. We're doing the things that we should be doing, and it's like, you know what? It's in a sense, it's still just a hobby for us. So I kind of like the way that the Aussie baseballers kind of showcase themselves against some of the world's best players. And if you're doing it on stage, big diamond, you're on national sort of TV. I mean, seriously, how can you not make that one of the best memories to ever have as a baseballer?
Yeah. Prague Baseball Week, mate. It's always been massive. What teams are involved this year?
So the format was a bit different compared to our last trip. It was to align with the European qualifiers for the World Baseball Classic. So our previous time in Prague, we had about 8 teams, and we had double headers going all day. So you're playing 6 or 7 games within a 3-game sort of 3-day span, and then you kind of set up the finals, right? So this time round, it was down to 4 teams because the Czech Republic team were going to be going from within their own sort of Eagle Field kind of space of 4 teams there. So if you think about like districts, there was like 3 districts and they all had like 4 teams. And so it was just an easier format to keep the Prague Baseball Week aligned to that. So the Czech Republic team, for example, they played all the night games every day. They had their set routine. So in a way, I would say that this Prague trip was more tailored to the Czech team, the Czech Republic team. We worked to their schedule. We got to be a part of it. And I kid you not, that even though we took home the bronze, we stayed on, watched the gold medal match. They took on the American team. And it was just amazing. Like being a fan, like literally a couple of hours ago, we were still playing. We're now sitting in the stands and like everyone's going crazy. There was like 2.5, maybe 3,000 people there just losing their minds for like a full 9 innings. So the 4 teams being, like I said, the Czechs number 1, the Globetrotters. So the Globetrotters are kind of like a American touring team. You kind of just put your hand up, and some people looking for, again, the college or maybe some little independent kind of free agent contracts or something to go play in different European leagues. You obviously had us and then the Vienna boys. And so we kind of liked it. It was a bit sort of a minimum 4 games, obviously everyone playing against each other, and then set the finals bracket up. And honestly, we held our own against everyone pretty much. And that's what I like, that even though, didn't end up first or second, there was only one game that really determined us when we lost to the Americans, that we would have been versus the Czechs at the night time. So I just love how we represented.
Nice. And I guess personally for you, mate, how did you go over there?
Yeah, so not to kind of, I suppose, try to stay away from the bragging, because everyone, kept asking about the stats and stuff. No, it's hard because obviously doing all the media coverage over there, right? So, had access to Game Changer. We kind of wanted to keep the stats away from people, because I know that sometimes on tournaments people can get a bit ahead of themselves, have a few good games. But it's a bit hard to say when you're entering all the data, doing all the pre and post game stuff. But pitching wise, yeah, there was myself and Lockie. We walked away from 13, 14 games with an ERA under 1. So I'm very happy with that. I'm not going to lie. There's a few big home runs hit off a few of our pitches, and I avoided that. So I was, it was a bit of a bragging rights to not have to wear a home run. So yeah, no, I'm very happy with that.
Nice, mate. And what about local baseball for you? Are you playing a bit of local baseball in winter?
Yeah, obviously. So I'm based out of Pico, so playing in the St. George League here during the winter, playing for a team called the Marlins. And they're just, it's a fun group that we grew up playing Cronulla as juniors. And we just kind of wanted to, I guess, stay fit during the winter, have a bit of fun. So it's a bit park bally, I'm not going to lie, but it's also a good chance to, we have real lives, right? But it's a gearing up for the summer comp. I think this year I'm going to be starting a fresh slate with out at Campbelltown with the Orioles. So I'm sort of looking forward to that this time around. So been part of Ride for quite a long time now, and previous to that, I was playing under Mr. Davo here for many years. So, look, I loved it, but in all hindsight, it comes down to travel.
Yeah.
Being a shift worker and doing very long shifts, I can't drive to Newcastle to see you very often as more. As much as I love playing up there, it's just too dangerous, mate, to be on the road for those long hours and long shifts and whatnot. Van Dyke. So look, it's looking for a bit of a sea change, but during the winter, I think a lot of people they play close to home. Look, we have a lot of rain outs and stuff. It's cold, and so I just like to play for fun during the winter. Play with my old Cronulla crew, and then as summer kicks off, obviously looking for a bit more competitive side, and so that's where the state league comes into it. But I suppose for me the move is about this country program has made me meet new people or get to spend a lot more time with people who I want to see grow. So I've got Lachlan from my St. George team, and then I've got Lockie Rosser from down in Illawarra. They're coming across to the Warriors as well, and it's they're 18, 19 boys, both left-handed pitchers. One's like bloody 8 foot tall, and the other guy throws low 90s, and it's just like I'm just really excited to sort of watch these guys grow. Provide a bit of mentorship and So there's Lockie there on the left, the very tall guy, mate. A young Randy Johnson right there. So look, it's I felt very short compared to a lot of our pitchers over there, but again, it's just exciting to see the kids come through and actually want to be a part of everything, and then come home and continue that fire. Because sometimes when you go on a trip, it's like your clothes, you kind of just leave them around. You start to get a bit more relaxed again. But these kids, like, they've got that fire, and I really want to see and be a part of their future. And so for me, I just want to oversight them a little bit and just be close to the people, because I'll be honest, it's like when we went to Japan in 2009, coming back from that, I got close to a lot of the guys who are based out of the Central Coast or the Newcastle, right? And I didn't want to. I wanted to continue those friendships, like a lot, and I was like, I want to play with these guys, and I was willing to travel, 2.5 hours just to keep those friendships going. I could see you once a week, 6 months of the year.
Yep.
And just, and that's what it is today. Like, we're still friends, like we still have a lot of deep friendships and connections. And even though we may not play together, like we set that journey up a long time ago. And I kind of want to make a few more connections moving forward.
Fair, mate. I love it. It's good for baseball. New South Wales countries continuing this trip. The Australian provincial championships were awesome fun, getting to go all around Australia to play for New South Wales country, and then going on to play for Australian provincial. Mate, I've only got one more question for you.
Yeah, throw it at me.
Can you drink out of that, or?
I'd say unfortunately the quick answer is no. It's a bit of a flared out trophy. Trust me, the boys, to not sound a bit I don't know the word to put right now, but when we got given the trophy, we all looked at doing what you suggested, but it was coming straight out, unfortunately.
Fair enough.
Surely Joshy Judge would have found a way to drink out of that thing for sure.
You know what? He was good. He was actually very good this trip. I'm not gonna lie. He was well behaved, which is it's
because he's got a missus now. He's changed, man. He's changed.
he's very different. It was different when he came away last Europe trip, but no, it's good because even the Judgy boys, like they're a little bit younger than me, but in terms of the baseball average age, in terms of the higher grade players, they're the experienced players, and honestly, he made a few highlight reels even on some of the social medias for the other teams playing what he does out at center field. So don't want to toot his horn too badly, but honestly, he both of the brothers did very well over there.
Good eggs, mate. They're good eggs. All right, mate. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate your time. Anything else before you go, mate? Anything you want to plug or?
No, I just, obviously we've got our country, sort of Facebook pages, and we're going to be streaming literally every game of the champs on the first week of August. Big Al's tasked me with staying on as a media guy and just really pumping up this program. And it's, I think it was a gap that I was very happy to fill moving forward. And I want to, these guys feels decades upon decades of work into us, let alone others in programs. So I just feel that this is something I can give back to a lot of people. So honestly, if you're looking to have a bit of interest in country baseball, or looking to get yourself some games overseas, just I said, join that group, meet a few of us. First week of August, Blacktown Stadium. We've got teams from Coffs Harbour all the way down to Albury, and the typical ones in between: Central Coast, Illawarra, Wagga Wagga. It's going to be a really good weekend. So hopefully the weather holds up. But if not, you can catch us all on the streams, and just stay in touch. That's all.
Love it, mate. All right, mate. Appreciate your time. We'll get you out of here, and we'll kick on to the Tid Bits now. So thanks very much, Tex, and we'll talk to you soon, mate.
All right, awesome.
Cheers,
good to see you guys. Thank you. Cheers. Bye.
Oh, good to see a little comment there from Steady. Thanks, mate, for joining. Mate. Gigs is a grub. I'm glad to see you use your head pretty well, mate, too, in that tournament over there. We did see a comebacker come off your melon. Glad it didn't damage it too much, mate, and still got a couple of outs. So you're a good man, Steady. Hope you're on the cans.
Wanted to answer a couple of questions from the audience while we had the chance there. There apparently is two spots left on end of season trip, and the answer to this one is, why isn't Joel Hudson on end of season trip? Make a good rookie, mate. There is only one reason. When you went on tours in 2005 and before that, there was what happens on tour stays on tour, mate. I've seen so many images, Randall, shares of, all these different things happening, like maybe Dolly, for instance, it made a beer coaster, didn't it?
Oh, I'm pretty sure it did. But, that's okay.
Thanks, Tex. Appreciate you coming on, mate. Really good things New South Wales Country Baseball are doing. And make sure you follow along with Tex and his media for the country, getting plenty of followers there, and talking to different people, I guess, in country baseball and beyond. So we're going to kick off with the Tid Bits now, fellas. I think I'm up first. I'm pretty sure this week. No sponsor for the show this week. If you want to sponsor the Tid Bits, reach out. Might be worth a bag of jerky to these blokes or something like that, You never know. Tid Bit number 1. Spencer Strider struck out 354 batters in his first 40 big league starts, and no one has ever done that before because, of course, they haven't. Crazy.
That's unbelievable.
Fair effort.
Unbelievable. But I'm enjoying watching Spencer Strider, like I know JVD would be. He's a massive Atlanta fan.
Love his moustache.
What was that?
Love his moustache.
Yeah. Mate, Vin Scully caught a game managed by Connie Mack, born in 1862. Connie Mack Championships currently going on in Arizona at the moment. Vin Scully caught a game pitched by Urias, born in 96. That's 134 years of separation. Mate, Vin Scully 400 years old or what?
Talk about old as dust. Fuck me dead.
Longevity.
Mate, what a legend. I'd still, love bringing up all these games through the 90s, listening to all that sort of stuff. It was always good. It was always good to have him.
He did it by himself. There was no color man. There was no one else. It was just him. And he just flowed the whole game. And that's an art form, to be able to do that by yourself for 3 hours and keep it interesting.
Yeah. Good value. Dave, on to you, mate.
So we'll start with the cricket. So good old Elise Perry. She's the first Australian, male or female, to score 6,000 runs and take 300 wickets in international cricket. So pretty good feat that, and hell of a sports person. Because
how many goals she scored for Australia?
That's
in
right.
Soccer.
She also represented the Matildas as well, so multi-sport. And yeah, she's a bit of a sore there, JBD. But that's a fair effort.
It is a fair effort, mate. And there's other tidbits floating around ready for next week with her name on it already. I got one there earlier. Freak.
So Nolan Ryan was the only pitcher to face the last 3 single season home run leaders. So Roger Maris, Mark Maguire, and Barry Bonds. They were 5 for 28 against him with 0 home runs. So you talk about Vin Scully being around for forever, like that itself. And looking at that photo, how he still had an elbow if he's thrown like that, I'll never know. But no home runs from Maris, Maguire, or Bonds off him.
And you know what? He could probably still go out there now and still do up Aaron Judge.
Mm-hmm. Probably. So Aaron Judge is out, mate. He's injured.
Yeah, you know, you do him too easy. Single season home run leader.
Going back to this photo, and we were talking about throwing style. There was a video sent on Instagram to you blokes. Randall, you probably wouldn't have seen it because you don't watch Instagram. But our mate's from BP, and he stops back here and throws. Mate, I made a comment too. I think it might have been Matty McBride about. It reminds me of how Simon Turner used to throw.
Oh,
he had that
slug
stop, and then anyway, I haven't seen him for years. Today, walking along the beach, hey, buffer! Oh, it's Simon Turner. Couldn't believe it. Out of all the people. Big Jacko. I'm sure he's watching the show. Hi to you, Jacko.
Make sure you touch home plate when you hit a home run, champ.
That's right. Davo, I think you're third.
Yeah, I've got excess this week. So crazy fact. Major League Baseball has been around for 147 years, and there have been a little over 23,000 players who have played a professional baseball game. So to put that into perspective, MLB's smallest stadium by capacity is Progressive Field at 38 or 37,830, meaning if every player who has ever put on a big league uniform from 1876 to 2023 sat in the stands, the stadium would only be at 61% capacity. So it just shows how elite Major League Baseballers are. Only 23,000 players have ever played in over 147 years.
Oh, is that why I can't make it?
And looking at these two blokes here, and none of us have made it. Right, on to Randall, I believe, now for...
Yeah, we're heading back into Elise Perry again, into the cricket. So this came back last week. I think it was in the last ODI. Elise Perry broke another record. Fancy that. A bit like the old Showy. She's broken everything there is. It's the first time she'd been involved in 3 50-plus run stands in an ODI, in the same ODI. So at the end of the game, Elise Perry was in the middle for 232 of the 282 runs scored by Australia. That's pretty red hot.
That's a match-winning knock.
A comment still applicable.
And again, that comment is still applicable. She is still a sort.
And still wearing her original helmet.
And
she's a creature of habit. Of habit, like apparently the inners are just like not even worth wearing. And the helmet, it's like creature of superstition. So I'd hate to see what happened if she cops a knock to the helmet and they've got to think about changing it.
Yeah, sorry, indentation. That one's got to go.
Yeah.
That one's out. Yeah.
Yeah. Talk about a freak of a player.
Messing up with people's traditions and superstitions and that sort of thing is, going from average and 60 to not many. Last one, Randall.
And this one was also last week. The Reds had a little bit of a slump there for a little bit, and They were the first team in the last 130 years with 0 runs and less than 8 hits in a 3-game span. They had a real little lull there for a bit, but obviously they've picked that back up. I think De La Cruz picked that shit up today, hit himself a bomb. I think he got caught on the fence in the first inning and then come back the next at bat and hit a 2-run bomb. But yeah,
460 feet, I think, out of the stadium there.
Yeah, something like that. But that's a long time for 130 years for a team to have no runs and less than 8 hits in a 3-game span, and that is average. When you look at some of the teams, especially the last few years, Orioles this year, Oakland, Kansas City, some of those teams, like they were struggling.
Yeah.
And still no one's had less than 8 hits in 3 games. So
solid indeed. Not really. Cincinnati Reds are going all right though. Look at them go.
They are now.
They are. It's been good following their progress actually. Started off at the start of the year and thinking they're, nobody's again, and they've progressed well, along with a few other teams like your Orioles there, Randall.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, baby.
They're unreal. They're going off. I don't usually follow the Orioles, but it's been good to see the progress of all your young players coming through, mate.
I'm pretty sure that's now 71
consecutive
series. They just did up the Tampa Bay Rays 3-1 in a 4-game series.
Yeah.
So
haven't they come back to earth?
Oof. And it's going to be 72. It's going to be 72 in a minute because they're they just beat the Phillies in game 1 today. So
fellas, we did a live cross a few weeks back. It was when the State of Origin was on, and you maybe mentioned that the tipster should come on for a few cameo performances, and he's given out a tip here. Tintin Magic should be winning at Dubbo Trots Friday night. Probably would be short though. Of course it's short now. Our thousands of listeners here are going to be throwing their hard-earned at it. So yeah, good luck. Good luck anyway.
Can't go wrong with Tintin.
Right. I'm just glad I didn't get on Stockhausen's horse today. That thing was a $2 favourite, and it ran about third, I think, and sent it to the Glue Factory champ.
No good.
Bathurst race 1, it was no good.
Hey, we'll finish off while we're here. What about this photo? What about some of the names in there?
Yeah. What was it? 4,000 home runs.
Yeah, 4,057 or something like that. It was.
Yeah.
What about the size of Frank Thomas still?
Oh,
he's huge.
Yeah. It still reminds me of a what was it? What were they at a Super Mario Brothers?
No idea.
No.
I got nothing.
The Goompas or whatever they were called.
Imagine just sitting into that conversation though.
Oh, unreal.
Imagine that. There's your home run derby next year.
Yeah.
I reckon even old Eddie Murray there would probably still swing all right too.
Probably.
Dave
Larry
Winfield.
Walker. Yeah, Big Dave. What about Fred McGriff? He just got inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Sure did.
One of the rare players that doesn't have a logo on his plaque.
Yeah, right.
Because he played for a few different teams and went well with a few different teams.
Yeah.
He decided to go in without a team.
Fair.
He's one of 5, only about 5 or something. Yeah, it's not many. So, but yeah, he was fun to watch.
Was.
Always good
value. Stedman's let you know the name of that horse, I think.
Oh, that's right, Toriega. That's right. That was the one. Putrid.
No good. I didn't see it, but yeah, the boys tell me no good. What about let's kick off with some NRL before we go to baseball standings and things like that. NRL and cricket. Fellas, do you want to kick us off with a bit of NRL?
Yeah, for sure. We had the Dragons and the Tigers taking each other on Thursday night. Unfortunately, Hutto, they couldn't repeat it. 18-14 to the Dragons. They just fucking, mate, it was a battle of the bottom of the ladder. They had nothing. But anyway, Warriors Raiders 21-20. Warriors over the Raiders. You watched that one, Davo?
No, I was like cricketing, I think, yeah, or watching replays due to the rain. But I kept the score going.
We were at Ebony's 21st.
Oh, so she'll give you drinks, but won't give us sneaky answers.
She won't give us sneaky answers, but there's plenty of drinks supplied. That's right. Yeah. So Ebony, we were at Ebony's 21st, and I was just catching it on the TV. Looked like a pretty good game, but yeah, happy days. I took the Warriors. Broncos 36 over the Rabbitohs 20. Everyone picked that. Roosters 36 over the Titans 18. And the one I missed, filthy. Couldn't quite make it after third grade on the weekend. But the Knights 26 over the Storm 18. Tell me you caught that one.
Didn't see that coming.
No, bloody hell. Didn't see it coming, but I tell you what, I'll take it. Any win's a win.
That's it.
Cowboys 24 over the Eels 16.
Yep.
Panthers fed it to those dirty dogs 44-18. Davo, probably expected that, yeah?
Yeah, I'm surprised we kept it that close. I know it was only 2 late tries that we scored to save it from being an absolute flogging, but it's to be expected.
While we're talking about the doggies, I think the Tigers actually did win something on the weekend, mate. The ladies Tigers beat the doggies, so I'm going to take that.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it was the dog. I don't think the doggies have a team in the.
You sure?
The women's.
I'm pretty sure it was.
No, I'm pretty sure it wasn't.
Yeah.
Was it Roost?
Anyway.
Roost? I don't
know. The Tigers WNRL team did win.
The Eels. Aussie Eels. My bad.
Yeah. But and then the Sharkies got done by Manly 26-30. Poor old Nico Hines.
It was like nearly 30-0 at one stage, wasn't it? And then the Sharks come home with a wet sail, but I backed the Sharks.
Nico Hines, he's in a bit of strife, hey? Like I don't know what's going on with him. They're saying too much pressure and all that sort of stuff, but yeah, I don't know. He gave the old touchy a bit of a spray, but I think it was Belinda Sharp, and he's in some hot water.
I think the frustration levels had just gotten to him, and let's see how that one sort of goes for him.
Yeah, I don't like his chances. I think he's gonna have to spend a little bit of time on the sideline. Unfortunately,
probably
if they're going to set a standard, I think they already did. Someone else, who was that?
Maybe Walsh.
Josh. Oh yeah, Reece Walsh.
He had to go at the ref and got a good little suspension. He's back this week.
Yeah. So see what happens there.
Fair
That's
enough.
about it for NRL. Well, obviously NRL women's.
How was the crowd over the nights? Looked like a fair crowd.
Don't know, mate. I was at Waterboard Oval.
Yeah, righto.
It wasn't quite conducive for us, but I believe it was about 21,000. So everything that all the boys had told me, it was a good crowd. So
fair enough.
I don't know. I honestly, yet again as another game I wasn't at.
Yep. Mate, season ticket holder and you can't get to a game, Randall.
Oh, no, it's
killing me. Member, are
you? Horrible.
Yes. Righto, Davo, what about the cricket, mate? Watched a little bit of the cricket over, I guess, 4 days, not 5.
3 days. Not much to watch. Thankfully, the rain saved us. So we've retained the Ashes, which is good. And I just love watching all the Poms whinge about it now. It's like, I'm sorry, that's cricket. They weren't whinging 10 years ago when it helped them out. They were, I think,
20
three for 30.
Three for 37 in 2013.
Yep, chasing 360 or something, and rain came and saved them, and they retained the Ashes. So I'm sorry, what goes around comes around. And
Short memory, mate. Short memory.
Well.
And
did you see that one?
The what? Sorry,
Punter said it well. Ricky Ponting should have won the first two.
Yeah, should have won the first two. Yeah. And Joe Root's come out and said, "Oh, why don't we play till like 10 o'clock at night because it doesn't get dark until then?" It's like, I'm sorry, they're the rules of cricket. What goes around comes around. If your captain hadn't let Bairstow and Anderson bat for so long, might have been a different story. But there's a lot of ifs, but the urn's coming home.
It's coming home.
It saved us though, because we were pretty atrocious. Our bowling, like they've lost line and length. They're too much short stuff.
No spinner either.
No, and this baseball style has rattled them a little bit and taken them away from the basics. And once they got back to that, it showed. Pitch the ball up to Stokes. He got bowled. Pitch the ball up to Anderson. He got out. It's like short stuff. He scored runs. So hopefully they've learned from it. Now, fifth test is a dead one. Let's hope they get back to doing what they know best. So it's given our players a couple of days rest, or especially the fast bowlers. But hopefully the sun comes out and we see 5 days at the Oval.
Yeah, nice. That would be good. Good to finish off with a win, even though we've won it. Just to really, I guess, solidify that earn coming home.
And Punter had it right. Win the first 2 games, you're up 2-1. Different ball game. You don't care about the weather. It's like, win those first 2 games, different thing. And they're talking how it should be decided, like they should be playing tests so that you get a winner, not if it ends up a draw, the team that already has it. But why change history?
Yeah, they've never worried about it any other year when it's gone their way with a draw or whatever. They go, oh well, we retain the Ashes. Oh,
yep,
yeah.
But just let Piers Morgan face Brett Lee again. That's what we want to see.
When's the next test, Davo?
Couple of days, I think. Yep. Probably Wednesday, maybe. I think. Okay. Or tomorrow. I don't know.
Wednesday or Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah.
You beauty. Bring it
From
on.
the Oval.
Yeah. It'll be good to watch. Get another win in. All right. Our cricket season will be coming around here not too long away. It's almost that time of the year where cricket will start to kick off over here, and look forward to that summer of cricket.
We've all just registered. 7th of October, our local comp starts. So we're all keen to go.
What's your club again, mate? Give them a plug.
Good old Narara, Wyoming.
Daughters
playing, or with the daughters playing, they're the fifth. We're the 5th generation, or she's 5th generation for the club. So we've got the family roots there.
Plenty of Davos been and gone through the club.
Plenty of Davos and Cliftons and all the relatives. So
love it. No, that's awesome, mate. All right, fellas. The Tour de France is been and gone. 21 stages over 23 days. Jonas Vingegaard was our yellow jersey winner. I think our first place Aussie was 7th, Jai Hindley. So he dropped a little bit over the mountain stages. The green jersey, which is a sprinter's jersey, Philipsen. And the youth rider, the white jersey, Thomas Pogacar, took away the white jersey. So it was always love watching the Tour de France. When the test was on, the tour was on. So it was a bit of watching a bit of this and a bit of that. So it's always good fun.
How's that second last stage where the crowd is just on the road and it's like you're lucky to see a metre in front of you? How there wasn't more stacks, I don't know.
Well,
It's
two
like they did.
stages before that, Davo, that there actually was a stack, and it was one of the motorbikes, one of the medium motorbikes got taken down. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. But the women's tour is on at the moment, Tour de Femmes. I couldn't tell you how many days that's over. It might be, well, I know stage 3 is on now, so let's have a look. Might be a 7-day tour. I'm not 100% sure. So anyway, I'll find that out for next week. That's been on. I'm not sure how many Aussies are in, but hopefully they'll bring home some bacon. What else have we got? World Cup soccer. You blokes caught any soccer so far?
Yeah,
A little bit.
Yeah,
I watched the first Aussie game. That was a good game.
And then Nigeria did us a favour by drawing with Canada, so that helps
Brazil.
out pool out. Sorry, they're like Brazil. I didn't see that. They went all right.
Yeah, it was a good game.
Yeah. Yeah. No. When's their next game? When's the Aussies' next game?
Thursday or Friday, I think.
Yep. Okay. All right. We'll watch that.
Another game without Sam Kerr. So hopefully, the girls can get through these pool rounds, make the next stage, and hopefully she'll be fit enough to lead us out come the finals.
Is there an official timeline on it, or
they haven't said?
They just said 2 games.
They've kept it close, and the calf injury, so could be good, could be bad, and we know what they're like. So it's a waiting game, but they're not going to say too much, I don't think.
Yeah. No, fair. I missed this cricket question from Tim. Warner, what are we doing with him in coming tests? What do you blokes think?
Mate, what does it matter now? We've retained the Ashes, leave him there, come back to Australia and have a swan song, retirement in Australia. And that'll be it for him. That's my thought.
I know it will happen. I'd rather not see it happen. I think now's the perfect chance to bring in Renshaw or Harris so that you can prepare for the Aussie summer. But I think Randall's right. I think, of course, we've retained the Ashes now. They'll keep him, give him his final tour, and away we go. But there's also talk Smithy. That might be Smithy's last tour of England as well. So that could be a big loss. But he's got a few more years, hopefully, for local, like a few more years around. But yeah, I'd love to see Warner go, but I think they'll keep him.
Surely not Smithy though. I
think that's himself. It's himself saying he's nearly done. I don't think it's form or anything or being pushed. I think it's him saying,
time to move on. Fair. Mate, I haven't heard of this listener before, Randall, but mentioned that Fowler's out as well. Hi, Sue. How are you?
Jeez.
But Fowler out as well. So
that's going to be a loss for us.
Yeah.
She played well first game.
Hopefully they'll get through it and move on to the next round. Let's finish out with a little bit of baseball, fellas. And let's talk about some of the standings. Baltimore is out in front, Randall, now by 2.5 games over Tampa. That's been a solid series for you. It's been a good one. The Twins are 4 games in front of Cleveland. And, mate, this bloke has been sitting here in the waiting room to talk about Texas, I reckon. So let's bring him back on because
why
surely he's out of dirty waters, Randall. You must have left a few there for him. Anyway, let's put him on. Mate,
I've been getting supplied.
What about Texas, mate? They're 2 games clear of Houston, 7.5 games of the Angels. What's your thoughts, mate? I know it was a tough loss today, but what's your thoughts for the rest of the season? You're on mute, mate. Have I muted you? There you go.
Oh, there it is. No, look, it's tough. It's tough watching these Lone Star series because it's basically like a 1-2 punch for the division, right? It's there's just a slugfest. There's just runs flying, no lead feels safe, and I'm at work trying to do my job and watch this game in the background and start losing my cool, and it's just like it is frustrating. Our bullpen can just not hold a lead, and it just shits me up the wall. I'm not gonna lie.
That's most clubs at the moment, really.
Yeah, I know, but it's like you've spent $500 million in back-to-back off seasons to push the offense, bring a few big names, and to be let down by the bullpen, it's like, what's another couple $100 million? Just shore up that bullpen. I need to get back in that winner's circle. It's killing me.
What are the Rangers going to do before the trade deadline, mate? You think they're going to make any moves, or they're pretty happy with what they got?
No, there's going to be some pulls for sure. That bullpen is just the coaches who always talk about the cliches after every game and whatnot, like they're chewing their nails. They're probably punching holes in walls and stuff when they lose games like that. We brought Bruce Bochy in, and like he is not going to stand for that. You know what I mean? Like we jumped out, got Chapman. Honestly, besides today's game, he's been lights out, throwing 103, just striking out everyone. I would love to somehow acquire that Twins closer. I'm not going to lie. If you could pick up Duran or something like that. Oh, but look, he's going to be a lot.
Chances, mate.
No, not with the Twins sitting in first. But it's honestly, there's a lot of great relievers on some pretty shitty teams this year. So I think it's a very much going to be a domino effect. Yeah. And a few of these people now are just holding on to their wild cards and just look, in a dream scenario, I'm not going to lie because I'm keeping the dreams alive. Somehow we pick up Ohtani as a rental.
Wow.
I mean, look, it's a rental, right? If you've got the chips there, right? He's not making super big bucks for the rest of the season, and look, runs have got to be put on the board. So, pick up a starting pitcher and a DH, and look, no, it's tough because Seager and Garcia have hit the DL, and so Dunning's held his place honestly for DeGrom. I know it was a bit of a hoorah at the start of the season, and it's probably the writing was on the wall. But look, it's happened. Whatever, go get your arm fixed. We've got you for a lot of years, and got Dunning holding his place down. Evaldi, John Gray, Perez, Heaney. Look, honestly, I can't. It's a pretty good rotation, So.
Yeah. Just got to watch the Astros, though, mate. They're sneaky each year. They just find a way to just be there, and that they've missed pieces as well. So, I know we always talk about the East and how competitive it is, but the West is sort of holding its own too. And if Angels could stay fit, it'd be a good division.
Yeah, it's crazy. Look, I really honestly, everyone knows it. We feel bad for Trout and especially now Ohtani, right? Like they're two of the biggest superstars in the game. They're franchise faces, and they've never made the playoffs. Yeah. So you got to think the frustration is real. Like at the end of the day, these blokes are getting paid mega millions, right? But you know what? They really only probably care about a ring at the end of the day, right? Like I mean, 1 year's salary, they're set for life. So what does it really matter? Like you've got to have those rings and the division titles and stuff. And it would irk me, right? Like I'm not playing it for money anymore. I've got enough to, sleep on a bit of cash. So it's like, why am I playing the game? I want to play for fun. And
their endorsements would be enough to live on, as you say. They want the ring.
Yeah, right. We spoke about this earlier too. Baseball is fun, and I kid you not, that these guys, they're playing for fun as well. But winning makes you feel a lot more fun as well, right? There's there's bragging rights, there's all those sort of stuff that goes with winning, but it's everyone wants to hold up a World Series trophy, and I kid you not, like it's a bit of running joke.
Drink out of that one, Tex.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, it's my left leg, for example. It's ready for that tattoo for the year that we finally win. You know what I mean? But it's 50 years is a long time to go without winning a title. So look, for me, it's throw every single egg you own in this year.
I think the Orioles are the same. That's how long since their last championship, mate?
Come on, mate. 38.
Yeah, not as long, but you know what?
Actually, no, it's 40 this year. 1983. Zero was born.
And the Giants, Hutto?
Mate, they're having a shit time right now. They're
but at least they've won a title in the last few years.
Yeah,
same with the Red Sox.
2013 and then Anyway, but
what about? Hey Tex, what about someone like a Josh Hader? You reckon would they entertain that? Like
No,
Padres aren't doing too much.
I think they would. His name has surfaced because having multiple left-handed relievers. With us having Chapman, Burke, and then we had some great results back in the year when we had like someone like Jake Diekman. You could get those 97-mile-an-hour sidearmer left-handers. Now the rules are a bit changed too. With instead of going batter to batter, having to face 3 batters minimum, which I like personally. Yep. You shouldn't just be a specialist. That would be boring. One hitter, like imagine that. It feels like boring. But yeah, again, I think someone like Hader is and has been reported on the radar for the Rangers to pick up because we've literally got to stop bleeding these bullpen losses because it's very painful. So I'm sure the new GM is all over it, and yeah, we'll just stay tuned for the next couple of days. So hopefully the Angels lose and really put that Ohtani on the market.
And I think Bochy's been good for years. He's a quality manager. He's an old school manager, but he's adapted well. Like you've got 2 of the best there in the West, in Dusty Baker and Bochy. So they know how to win and make it work with what they've got.
Yeah, it doesn't just stop there with Bochy, but to be honest, when it was announced that Bochy was coming over, I was like, you know what, that's he was in retirement. You're bringing a Hall of Fame coach out of retirement. He's not going to come back to come last, or you know what I'm saying. So he's probably spoken to Chris Young and gone, look, I'll come back, but you better give me a bloody good lineup. And along with that, getting Mike Maddox back as a pitching coach.
Yeah, he's one of the most well-respected guys in the league.
I hated when he left and went to the Nationals and in the National League, and because I felt like pitching is such a fine art in the big leagues, and just said, you talk about the big managers, how many pitching coaches are really big named and be like, oh, we need him, right? Like, I don't know how much they get paid, but it's probably nothing like many of the players either, though, right? But yet they have more of an influence than the average fan probably knows about. And so, yeah, super excited to have the coaching staff revamped. And I mean, you've got Will Venable, an old player. That's the bench coach for Bochy. So it's that the bench for me. And the other thing was catching. Catching has been a big improvement, especially for the Rangers. And
Jonah Heim,
mate, all-star from nothing.
But another like for me, Orioles fan, switch hitting catcher that can pump the ball, but he's good behind the plate. And you look at Jonah Heim, and it's the same thing.
Yeah,
switch hitting catcher. He's tidy, super tidy behind the plate, and can hit for power.
Yeah, and that's what you see. I anticipate seeing Heim and Rushman be back and forth for all stars for the American League. Young, just so good, right? Like you catching and power hitting, just outside the Mike Piazza days, the Pudge Rodriguez days, they're just not really there. You had the Yankees catcher, but you kind of just couldn't hit for average. So as much as a lot of people just look for the framing percentage and just hold your own, no, I think there's a lot more being asked about the catchers these days, and these two switch hitting catchers, they're more than pulling their weight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. Right, let's click over to the National League. Atlanta 11.5 games in front of Miami. and 12 games in front of Philadelphia, Milwaukee in the Central. A 1.5 games in front of Cincinnati. We talked about Cincinnati earlier on. They've been on a bit of a tear. They're 5-5 the last 10, but they've come in pretty hot. It's been good watching those guys. LA Dodgers are back on top of the NL West, 4 games in front of Arizona and San Francisco. San Francisco were at the top this time last week, and they've had their last 10 of their 4-6. They've just had an absolute horrid time. I have not enjoyed watching them at all. But it's been interesting to see the different levels. And, mate, I'm really enjoying Cincinnati play. I don't know how much of Cincinnati you blokes have been watching, but definitely highlights every day for me of Cincinnati. But, yeah, trying to catch a few of their games, and it's just refreshing to watch the way they're playing. So,
But even the Brew Crew, like
Yep.
Council is another manager that doesn't get the credit he deserves. It's like
Yeah.
he hasn't got an earth-shattering roster there, but he's making do and getting wins and doing enough that he's got him in first place.
Yeah.
So
I think
and
we've
year
talked
after
about
year-
it. We've talked about it a bit. Like, Yelich hasn't had the last year and this year, and maybe even the year before, he just didn't really have great years. Like, he hasn't been living up to the hype that he deserves. All of a sudden, he's hot
Yeah.
at the moment. He's
hitting 289, 55 RBIs, 22 stolen bases. So,
and it's all the last sort of month or so. Like, he's started to turn it around again.
yeah.
and the other guy, the
Dude can
trade chip, old Bellinger for the Cubs.
Yeah.
Corey.
I'm sure he's going to get a few phone calls come the trade deadline.
Yep.
So he's turned it around well. He's another guy who's had a couple of down years. What did he sign a 1 year at? Or it wasn't a big contract for the Cubs, but he's been a bit like Yelich, yeah, just doing well this year, and he's been hot the last month.
Has been. That's great to see.
I do like that essentially, like, 2 sort of low league teams, let's say like Miami and the Arizona. There's one person on each of those teams that keeps you engaged almost on a daily, right? So, like, for Arizona, the Carroll, and for the Miami guy, the guy chasing 400 average.
Lewis Arrays.
Yep.
Yeah.
Look, I hope he gets it. I really do.
So do I.
Just I love seeing stats get broken. There's some are just impossible, but like, you think, what's the difference between a 3 for 10 versus a 4 for 10? But 162 games, that's a lot of extra one hits.
Yeah.
And so much harder these days with specialists as well. It's like gone are the days where, like, Ted Williams and all them were playing, where you had a starter who'd go most of it. They're getting tired, so you're seeing them for 3rd, 4th, 5th time. Now you might go through a game, you might only see a starter for 2 at bats and then 3 different relievers for the other at bats. So it's so much harder these days. So to be even in that realm of the talk of hitting 400 today is just a feat in itself.
But let's just not go about, not just about the pitching that they're facing, but the defensive side, right? We talk analytics and where's the game progress, from the shifts through to so that Miami player, he won the game by hitting through a 5-man shift infield.
Yeah, I saw that.
Right. It's just like,
Crazy.
why? How do you, and he hit a single. He didn't hit like a bloop. No, he hit it through the 5-man shift. And it's like, that's crazy. Hats off to him. And, I just love seeing specs of the National League. Not that I follow it heavily, but it's just really good to see energetic injections. Like I said, the cruise for Cincinnati is, man, I can't stop watching that guy. Who can stop watching it? He does something new every day or every couple of days. Those steals of second, third home.
And a 98-mile-an-hour throw.
Yeah. There was the shortstop, I think it was, for the Pirates. He was on the radar about making all those almost
the other Cruz.
Yeah. O'Neill Cruz. Yeah.
Right? Like, where are these kids coming from? What chicken are they eating? I want to eat it. You know, just
A little bit late for that, Tex.
Yeah,
mate. Go down to KFC and get yourself a bucket, old son. It's more enjoyable.
Don't
Sam,
do that.
mate.
Don't do that. You'll end
Evening,
up
mate.
like Winnie.
Sacrifice a few live chickens, that's for sure.
But
Hey,
how good is, yep.
You go. Sorry, you go,
I was
Davo.
just going to say, like, how good is baseball again without the shift?
Yeah.
Like,
I love it.
I know they're nudging as close to second base as they can, but it's just good to see fielders back where they are, more hits, stolen bases are back, baseball's coming back to what it was. And it's just getting exciting watching guys. And I think we've said about the defense, that's giving you the chance to hit near 400 because you're not having the shift. So every at bat, you've got all those guys on the right side of the infield. So I think it's good for the game.
Absolutely is.
I love seeing it, mate. Like, you know, a ball hit back up the middle, and there's not a bloke standing behind second base already to pick the ball up.
Yeah.
He actually has to have some athleticism and some range to get there and make a dive and play, get to his knees and get a throw away and make a great play. Like, you know, I'm sure that's what we all grew up watching.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
It's so much better getting back to seeing that sort of stuff.
Aussie Smith all the time.
Roberto
Jr.
Yep.
So there was another bloke that played a million games for Orioles. Can't remember him. But anyway,
no range. No range.
Hey,
not like the Wizard.
While we're talking about, not like the Wizard, mate. Backflips on the field. While we're talking about baseball, have you blokes seen this? I'm going to share my screen. The old baseballreference.com, and they do a daily quiz. Have you blokes?
I saw a Yankee one the other day. I don't know if it was a meme or whatever it was, but that's the first time I've seen this 9 quiz.
I've seen that Yankees meme too. That was quality.
I see John Boy Media do this a fair bit. I do see it with John Boy Media. It's pretty good.
Mate, unless you're on there a lot, like we all follow the game and love it, but, you know, I follow my team more or less, not the whole game, you know what I mean? So it's really quite challenging to come up with some of these names. And obviously go to baseballreference.com to search it all. And but it is live. I might start posting these on our Facebook page that people play along because it's a bit of fun. And you know, if you got to spare 5 minutes at work, not that you blokes, you know, have 5 minutes at work, but yeah.
Doesn't fantasy baseball get you following other teams and whatnot?
Mate, it does. It does. I'm just busy blocking someone here. Yeah, I don't know who that is, but he's been blocked, and I'm trying to remove comments. But go ahead and talk about your fantasy baseball. But
no, I was just saying in terms of, you know, we all follow our teams or whatnot, but it's there's something about fantasy baseball. You start looking at other teams and other players, and it gives you a greater perspective of you know, outside your 40-man roster who's doing well. So
yeah,
it's just something like that. That's all.
I do follow. I'm in a few fantasy leagues. I don't know if you've seen the SoRare. Have you seen that? Tex,
No,
it's like
what's that?
It's called SoRare, and it's like you get baseball cards, and you know, you play a week, and it's like it's twice a week fantasy. You can play in and out. It's you get like baseball cards to progress and things like that. And
so more like an online trading card game.
Yeah, it's sort of like that, but it's fantasy, and you get to keep the cards and things like that and trade them in and stuff like that. I'll send you a link.
Yeah,
but
nice.
Yeah. All right, fellas, we might leave it there for tonight. And yeah, leave it at that. Thanks, Tex, for joining us tonight, mate. And I'm glad you stuck around and joined us for the MLB chat. It's always good to talk baseball. And fellas, have a good week.
When do we not?
Yeah, that's it.
Isn't that how we all met, right? Or at a pub? I'm confused.
Basically.
Either way.
Baseball, then the pub.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, fellas. Have a good week. We'll talk to you soon.
See you guys.
All right.